Hello, everybody. It's me. I am in my new place, and somebody's watching. It's like, who the hell's watching us now? Like, I'm not gonna talk about anything useful today, but I got Wi-Fi today. I wasn't planning on streaming. The real stream starts tomorrow. We're back on the clock code, but I am in my new place. Whoever's watching this, feel free to chat with me in the chat. I'd be happy to talk to you. But the right left. Okay. Welcome. Welcome. Feel free to talk to me in the chat. Uh, Welcome to the stream. This is like a very impromptu stream. Like we're not gonna talk about. I guess we could talk about something useful today. But I just moved in. Um, I just got Wi-Fi today, so I can finally stream. But the real clock code stream resumes tomorrow, 1 p.m. But right now, I'm like just kind of hanging out. I'm just kind of hanging out. So I'll stand over here. Hope you guys can still hear me. But yeah, I'm just like I got a lot of shit on the floor that I gotta fix. I'll put together. I have some tables and chairs that I have to put together. But yeah, um, we can talk about AI, whatever you want to talk about. Um, I should probably just talk about this because I need to tell Mary, my friend, about this new kind of idea that I've been thinking about, which is computer use agents, computer use models are well, like the big labs, like they launched some of those models last year or earlier this year. So, Anthropic, I think Anthropic was one of the first labs that came out with a computer use model using Claude. And then OpenAI came out with one. OpenAI launched a consumer product, a feature as part of ChatGPT, and they called it Agent Mode, I think. Um, yeah, and you can use Agent Mode to kind of like do long running tasks, do complex tasks, so multi-step, kind of like an example would be like a travel agent. This is the most cliche example you can think of. So a travel agent needs to like contact several vendors and like look up several different things before booking your travel, that kind of stuff. Um, but OpenAI has a consumer product using computer use model now, which is cool. And then a couple of days ago, Anthropic came out with a Chrome extension, a Chrome extension from Anthropic where you can use the Chrome extension to control the browser essentially. And this is not new. Like this this is what Perplexity Comet and the browser company's new browser. They used to have this thing called Arc, and they kind of abandoned it and they built um, Dia browser. So there's a this year later this year you're gonna see a lot of these like AI browser essentially. Um, I personally like this trend because I am extremely dyslexic and ADHD, and whenever I fill out forms online, I always make mistakes. Uh, I started a company recently with my friend Nelda, and I filled out the form wrong. Like I was on this website, we were supposed to incorporate federally in Canada, and I put in provincial. So if there was an AI agent that could have filled out that form for me and have enough context about who we are as a business, we wouldn't have made that mistake. But even when I was younger, I would apply for like immigration stuff, and I would fill out the form wrong, and my dad used to be so pissed about that. So um, yeah, so you're gonna see a lot of like browser use agent products models for sure. coming out of these labs later this year. This is just a speculation. Um, we haven't seen anything from like Mistral or Cohere. Cohere had not launched anything of that, bleeding edge. I think Cohere is playing very safe, targeting enterprises and only improving their like LLMs essentially and their rack stuff. But with that being said, like I truly believe that So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I was setting up a whole bunch of sandboxes for agents, and one of those sandboxes is like kind of like a headless browser for an agent to use. So think of it this way: there's I guess three ways for you to like do web scraping nowadays. So you can do like the programmatic way, where you have to know everything about the website that you're scraping to be able to target the right elements, stuff like that. That's the traditional way. And then you have like services like by crawl civility that you can hit, and then you can crawl and you can scrape websites sometimes semantically. So you can give it like a root domain, it'll go through like all the subdomains and then find the right what do you call it? The right URL for you to scrape and then intelligently extract content from the page in clean markdown, which we know AI loves markdown. That's the second way. And the third way is, I mean, this third way is probably some of the services that you use to scrape, like, Bright Data or Crawl would use, which is to use a headless browser and then put an agent, like a, in that environment. And the agent acts as like a user agent essentially. So think of how you can get data for your product. You can either scrape a website or multiple websites. You can either hit an API endpoint if the resource, aka your website or the service provider, has an API available, whether or not that's paid or free. And then the third way is you can manually do it by hand, right? And this manually doing it by hand can be replaced by a headless browser with an agent on it. So we're no longer confined by the how many API services are available for us to consume, right? Because as long as the agent can use the same interface as a human, then it has access to all the data the human can have. So you go onto CNN, you don't have to ask CNN for permission to scrape. Obviously, they don't want that. You can just act as like a user and then go on that website and then scroll up and down and then extract the information you need. Every single website becomes an API interface. That's why it's so powerful to build something that can interact with the browser. And companies that are doing that, as far as we know, right now, like some of the more like common ones on the news are like browser base. Paul Klein. I ran into Paul Klein like twice, one in SF, one in New York City, and each time he was super cool. He's a builder, technical CEO. Built like he used to build live streaming service, which then he sold to Mux. And the reason why I ran into him in New York City was because I was hanging out with Mux people, which has this amazing platform for video hosting, and then ran into Paul there. Paul was on stage talking at Vercel conference. But yeah, so there's browser base, there's browser use. I think both companies have open source technologies, not just like the infrastructure to host these headless browser, but also frameworks for you to use along with a computer use model to be able to automate web actions. So what I mean by that is this: you have two pieces to the puzzle. Cameron's on here. And two pieces to the puzzle. So the first piece is the framework that allows an LLM to control the browser, and the second thing is the infrastructure to pull up those browsers. Browser base has infrastructure to host these browsers, and they have this thing called Stagehand, which is a framework for you to use to kind of like throw an LLM in there, usually again like a computer used model, to be able to like take screenshots at every stage and then click around, find the right button depending on the task. So, um, browser base is one of them. Browser use seems like they have everything built in as well, like an agent. I don't think they have something like Stagehand because Stagehand you can use it without browser base, but for browser use, it's like everything all in one. And obviously, Stagehand is just like Puppeteer, but like built for the age of AI. So like for agents to use, Puppeteer you can manually do certain things, and so you can do manual things with Stagehand as well. It's just that Stagehand was built with AI and agents in mind, so it's more modern. There are like prompt stuff in it. However, I tried it and it does not work in my use case. Maybe the model was kind of shitty because I did. So like, my use case is I want to be able to take somebody's web application, maybe like a Vercel app link, and deploy a sandbox session on browser base, and then deploy an agent on it so that the agent can go and explore the website. It's just stuck at the first stage, and then they couldn't scroll up or down, couldn't do anything. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but so far I'm not having a good experience with it. Even though in my mind, when I wanted to build this, I was like dreaming of like, okay, I can just deploy a browser and then I'll go on there and do stuff, but it does not do that. So with that being said, I still think that the browser used in computer use case is going to be pretty big towards the um, from now until the end of the year. Like there's a reason why Anthropic came out with a Chrome extension that allows you to automate browser stuff. They're leveraging their browser, the computer use model in many different ways to like train it better. And the goal is essentially to take over the entire computer, but um, taking over your browser is the first step because the most of our information on the internet is not on the browser, right? So like take over the browser, you can essentially take the first step towards taking over your computer, and then before you know it, it'll use your computer for you. What's up, Dwayne? I'm just streaming today from my new apartment. I just got Wi-Fi today. I wasn't planning on streaming, but just got Wi-Fi, so I'm just gonna talk for a little bit, and then yeah. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm like a little bit hungry, so I'm just drinking my smoothie. Thank you, brother. Dwayne, I have a package for you actually that I have everything packed up and everything, but then like I didn't ship it. So I brought it to my new place, and it's like a box in over there. I told myself to ship it before I moved, but then I did. Hey, what's up, Jack? Jack is my good friend from Newfoundland. What's the smoothie mix? So when I came back from this conference in New York, they were giving out these things, and they called what is it called again? Uh, I can't remember, but it was very spicy. Um, wellness shots, yeah, that's what it's called. So they were giving out these things called wellness shots, and I took a sip, and I'm like, first sip, I'm like, man, this shit tastes like ass. But then it's it it makes me feel good because it tastes like ginger and tastes like turmeric and like all these things. And there's pepper in it. So I took like 5 shots or something. I don't know. I definitely like enjoyed it. And then I went to some social events when I came back to Canada, and I bought those things from the grocery store for people. Nobody like gave a shit, but it's like one of my favorite things now. So in my smoothie, I try to replicate that. I don't know what goes inside their wellness shots, but put kale, spinach, piece of ginger, turmeric, pepper, because apparently like it helps you absorb turmeric better. Um, milk, yogurt, berries, protein powder, collagen, peptide, a few other things. Yeah, it's just like a mix of. I'm just trying to figure out what Brian Johnson put in his longevity mix, and then I try to put similar things in it, but I don't know. Jack says not the sort of thing I'd expect in a smoothie. Uh, yeah, I just I want to like I can live with the smoothie not tasting super tasty. And as long as it makes me feel good after I makes me feel good in a placebo way after I drink it, then I'll be happy. Like, if I feel like I'm, like, being a degenerate, maybe I sit on my ass for, like, 8 hours coding or something, and I get up and drink one of these, I feel like I'm taking care of myself, so it's more of a mental thing, I think. Maybe it helps, but I don't know. Next step, you get myself a blood boy. Do you want me my blood boy? Well, I'd probably text my dad and be like, "Hey, you wanna swap, plasma?" Tell me, Jack, what have you been up to? I saw a post. I saw an X that Starbucks had like a demo day, which is. But first of all, the office looks sick. Like, I like the decor a lot. And second, somebody brought like a DJ deck to your office, like, for some reason. So I need to know the context behind that. Also, side note, me and my, I guess, new company, we're trying to host the definitive AI conference here in Ottawa next year. So if we could get Scott out as one of the speakers, that'd be sick. Jack, we can get you on as one of the speakers who are a real builder, talks about like real stuff and not thought leadership with like building agents and stuff. That'd be sick. I'll actually reach out to you. Scott has a DJ deck. It reminds me of the CEO of Goldman. We've all been learning how to mix. So like beat matching, kind of like yeah, it reminds me of when I was in college. I was it was my senior year and I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with my life. I'm about to graduate. I couldn't find a job, couldn't find internships. I was in Ohio. And I'm like, what if I just learn how to DJ instead? So I learned how to DJ and then my fraternity kind of so I brokered a deal with like a few sororities. I was like, you guys host the parties with us and then we'll make it the biggest raves on campus. And then it's like such a life hack because like if they show up, then everybody else on campus will show up. And they fill the room and then people will trickle in. If it's just a bunch of dudes like us, like doing like a party, then we wouldn't be able to do it with that like a big crowd. But I learned how to DJ in like 3 months. I was doing that like 6 hours a day or something. It was like really dumb. Scott tried to do a musical instrument like in 2014, got funding, was hit with massive legal bill trying to patent it, drained most of the funding. That's actually that's actually hilarious. Uh, I didn't know that Scott Stevenson was gonna do a what's his name? Jacob Critch. I think Jacob is no longer at Spellbook, but he had like a musical software startup or something, which is interesting. It reminds me of that. Um, but yeah, I have to follow up with you, Jack, about like the conference because Spellbook is a prominent. I don't know. It's one of the use cases that obviously is pretty clear that you guys are winning. So yeah, so there it is. Also, Jack, you're invited to our hackathon this weekend in Ottawa. By the way, we got a ton of prizes. You can crash at my place. I have like a mattress that my ex used to use. You can have that. So I have a bed for you here as well. So if you care to go to Ottawa, you have a bed, a place to stay, and you can go to the hackathon if you liked. But yeah, unless you're back in the UK. Anyways, I think somebody's trying to call me. So today's an official stream day. So if you're watching this, don't watch this. Um, Tomorrow we'll talk about Cloud Code SDK, which is very, very important. Um, Is anything on the go October 10th time frame? I'm visiting Shopify's headquarters for the Remix Jam. Oh, nice. If there is, hit me up, man. Hit me up. I should be in town, so I fly out to San Francisco on the 5th, and then on the 6th, I'm visiting OpenAI's headquarters for Dev Day, and then I'll be back the 7th. But the 10th, I'll be in Ottawa. So you gotta hit me up. I'll send you my number in Discord, but you gotta hit me up, and then we'll hang out. Am I a software developer? No, I'm actually unemployed. Um, but jokes aside, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I was a developer. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go eat my salmon. It is smelling really good in that air fryer right now. And talk to my boy Josh. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Bye.